Okay, welcome to the Wheel of Shakespeare, everybody, for Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. We've been without it for a couple weeks. I hope you guys haven't forgotten about us. I had a couple acting jobs the last 2 Saturdays, but I am back. So are Sheila, Bill, Danielle, Alex, Elizabeth, and Maggie are with us today. So we're anxious to get started with that. Now, let's bring the wheel up. We have, let's see, Sheila will be our first to perform today, and then Danielle is on deck. So Sheila will be up first. Let me get the wheel up. There we go. Okay, so Sheila is going to be performing. Rosalind, you foolish shepherd from As You Like It. Act 3, Scene 5, about 40 lines in.
And is she talking to another disguised woman? Who is she talking to?
I believe she's talking to Corin. Corin, the shepherd who's wooing Phoebe at this time. Corin, the gazillion couples in this, it's Corin and Phoebe, and I believe she's talking to Corin.
3-5, another part of the forest.
Let me know when you find it.
I'm finding lots of lines. I'm not finding you foolish shepherd. And I only see Phoebe and Rosalind and Silvius.
Maybe I put the wrong, scene number. Let me see. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Silvius was the shepherd.
Oh, there it is. It's half of the way through Rosalind's speech. I found it.
I guess I should have put the first. I guess I put it by a line that. Yeah, so you can go to the beginning of it if you're more comfortable. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. You shall not pity me, and why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exult, and all at once over the wretched? What thought? You have no beauty. As for my faith, I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be, therefore, proud and pitiless? Why, what meanness? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. Oh, you foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she, a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love, for I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell what you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer, so take her to thee, shepherd, fare you well.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so next up we have Danielle, and Maggie is on deck after her. So, Danielle, hello. She will be performing this is what the boy in Henry V. It's the end of Act 3, Scene 2. This is one that I just added to the wheel. The boy, it's a prose monologue commenting on the nincompoops that he's with from the Boar's Head Tavern in the midst of the battle, right after the once more under the breach monologue. So,
I'm not. End of 3-2. Do you think some things have been? Oh, right, not at the end. Okay. Is this As Young as I Am? I have observed.
Yes, that one. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
As young as I am, I have observed these 3 swashers. I am boy to them all 3, but all they 3, though they would serve me, could not be man to me. For indeed 3 such antics do not amount to a man. For Bardolph, he is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof effaces it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword, by the means whereof he breaks words and keeps whole weapons. For Nym, he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, and therefore he scorns to say his prayers, lest he should be thought a coward, but his few bad words are matched with as few good deeds. For he never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against a post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it purchase. Bardolph stole a lute case, bore it 12 leagues, and sold it for 3 halfpence. Nym and Bardolph are sworn brothers in filching, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. I knew by that piece of service the men would carry coals. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or their handkerchiefs, which makes much against my manhood if I should take from another's pocket to put into mine, for it is plain pocketing up of wrongs. I must leave them and seek some better service, for their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up.
Nice. I'm glad we added that. Was one that I just added a bunch more to the wheel over the last couple of weeks, and I think that was a good addition, and glad it came up, and you did great with it.
It's interesting not to do verse. It's very unusual. So it's cool.
Yeah, there are some good prose monologues like that one. Probably also the "What a Piece of Work is Man" is a great prose monologue. Yeah, so that is on the wheel too, but you're right. Most of them are not in prose. Okay, and by the way, so while Danielle was performing, John joined us, so we're glad to have him with us. He tried to join. Well, he did join us before, but then he had difficulties, technical difficulties. But we'll try it. Hopefully that's been solved, and hopefully he will be able to join us. We'll put him at the end. I always spin myself last for whatever reason, so I was going last, but we'll include him then after me. Anyway, it is now Maggie's turn, and then Eleanor. Eleanor's not with us yet. She said she might join us late. So Maggie is up, and Elizabeth is on deck. So let's see. Okay. Maggie, hello. Okay, Maggie is going to perform. Iago, I Hate the More. End of Act 1, Scene 3.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm in that scene, but there's a lot of them. It was, sorry, it's a long one. I'm scrolling back to the top. Act 1, Scene 3, correct?
Yes, Act 1, Scene 3. It's at the very, very end.
The very, very end. All right.
After everyone exits but Iago.
Okay. Thus, it says, thus do I ever make my fool my purse.
Yes, that's how.
Okay, good. All right. Thus ever do I make my fool my purse. For mine own gained knowledge should profane, if I would time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit. I hate the more, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he hath done my office. I know not if it be true, but I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do it as if for surety. He holds me well. The better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man. Let me see now, to get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery. How? Let's see. After some time, to abuse Othello's ear that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth dispose to be suspected, framed to make women false. The more is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest, but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
Okay, very nice. Next, so Elizabeth is up, and Alex is on deck. Elizabeth will perform. Oops, I forgot to add it to the. Oh, the Duke of Morocco. I don't think anybody's done that. I added this up a couple months ago, and it hasn't been spun yet. The Duke of Observing the Chests. Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 7, looking at the gold, silver, and lead chest.
Okay, 2-7.
I believe that's the beginning of the scene, but I might be wrong.
Okay. Okay, this is a totally unfamiliar play with me. Nobody ever does it in America, I feel.
Really?
Never seen it.
One of my favorites, actually. The Stages Theater in Fullerton, one of my favorite community theaters, which unfortunately was a victim of COVID, did it a couple years ago.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go.
Okay, hold on. Can you see me? Okay.
Yes, I can see you.
Okay. The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This third, dull lead, with warning all as blunt, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How shall I know if I choose the right? Some God direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. What says the leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantages. A golden mind stoops not to show of dross. I'll then nor give nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with her virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend as far as to the lady. And yet to be afeard of my deserving were but a weak disabling of myself as much as I deserve. Why, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes and graces and in qualities of breeding, but more than these, in love I do deserve. What if I strayed no further, but choose here? Let's see once more this saying graved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Well, that's the lady. All the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. The Hyrcanian deserts and the vasty wilds of wide Arabia are as thoroughfares now for princes to come view fair Portia. The watery kingdom, whose ambitious head spits in the face of heaven, is no bar to stop the foreign spirits, but they come, as o'er a brook, to see fair Portia. One of these three contains her heavenly picture. Is it like that lead contains her? 'Twere damnation to think so base a thought. It were too gross to rib her cerecloth in the obscure grave. Or shall I think in silver she's immured, being 10 times undervalued to tried gold? Oh, sinful thought! Never so rich a gem was set in worse than gold. They have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel stamped in gold, but that's insculped upon. But here, an angel in a golden bed lies all within. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose, and thrive I as I may.
Okay, for someone who said she didn't know anything about it, was totally unprepared. That was amazing.
Thank you. I'm very lucky. It was pretty accessible language. But
okay, so we have the 4 people left. We have Alex, then Bill, then myself, and then John. Alex, you're up.
Hello.
Hello. And Alex is going to be performing the other great prose monologue I was just mentioning. What a piece of work is meant. And that's the famous line from it, but it doesn't start it. It begins with, I will tell you lest your discovery will, or
It is with the bargain of animals.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I think I have of late. Begins.
Okay, I have it.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen mold no further? I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom exercises. And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy. The air, look you, this brave, changing firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me than a full and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving how express and admirable, in action how like an angel, in apprehension how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
Okay, good job, Alex.
Thank
And
you.
up we have Bill, and then I'm on deck, and then John, and then we'll go on to scenes. So Bill is going to do. Othello, her father, pleading to Desdemona's father, to the Duke, about Desdemona's father's disapproval. I think I should have put the line number. It's in the middle of that long. It's in the middle of that long scene that ends with the Iago monologue that Maggie did earlier.
Right, got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life. From year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed, I read it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me tell it, wherein I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hairbreadth escapes in the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence importance in my travels history, wherein of entrees vast and desert idle, rough quarries, rocks and hills whose heads touch heaven. It was my hint to speak. Such was the process. And of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropophagi, and the men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear would Desdemona seriously incline, and but still the house affairs would draw her thence, whichever she could with haste dispatch she'd come again, and with a greedy ear she'd devour up my discourse, which I, observing, took once a pliant hour, and found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate, whereof by parcels she had something heard, but not intensively. I did consent, and often did beguile her of her tears, when I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore, in faith, 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, that I should teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint, I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
Okay, good job, Bill. So I am up next, and then John will go, and then we'll start our scenes. So I'm going to be doing. Belarius from Cymbeline. Get to reprise the role that I played 9 years ago in the Long Beach Shakespeare. So Belarius. Scene 3. Okay. How hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. These boys know little that they are sons to the king, nor Cymbeline dreams that they are alive. They think they are mine, and though trained up thus meanly, in a cave wherein they bow, their thoughts do hit the roofs of palaces, and nature prompts them in simple and low things to prince it much beyond the trick of others. This Polydore, the heir of Cymbeline and Britain, who the king his father called Belarius. Jove, when on my 3-foot stool I sit and tell the warlike feats I have done, his spirits fly out into my story, say, thus mine enemy fell, and thus I set my foot on his neck. Even then the princely blood flows in his cheek. He sweats, strains his young nerves, and puts himself in a posture that acts my words. The younger brother, Cadwal, once Arviragus, in as like a figure, strikes life into my speech and shows much more his own conceiving. Hark, the game is roused. O Cymbeline, heaven and my conscience knows thou didst unjustly banish me, whereon, as 3 and 2 years old, I stole these babes, thinking to bar thee of succession, as thou reft'st me of my lands. Euryphile, thou wast their nurse. They took thee for thy mother, and every day do honor to her grave. Myself, Belarius, that him Morgan called, they take for natural father. The game is up. So lastly, hello, John. We're glad you came back. We'll try again to work you into this. How you doing?
Fine. Yeah, I think it'll be okay this time, I hope.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no interference this time. Okay, so John, our newest player, is going to perform. Mark Antony, All Is Lost. We're about to do a play from Antony, a scene from Antony and Cleopatra. This starts with All Is Lost, this foul Egyptian hath betrayed me. Act 4, Scene 12.
Okay.
This is very seldom performed, but I think it's really a great monologue. I think I just realized a couple weeks ago that it belonged on the wheel, and I hadn't put it there yet. So I believe it begins with All Is Lost.
Oh, okay. Act 4, Scene
13.
13?
Oh, wait. Did I?
3, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Scene 13 is the one we're doing in just a minute. Yeah, let me see if I got that right.
Okay. How does that start again?
All is lost is how it begins. You know,
Is it? Okay, I think I went too far. Bear with me here.
I think I may have said the wrong scene, and that's so it's my fault. Actually, that's actually scene 12. Act 4 scene. There's 15 scenes in Act 4. It's Act 4 scene 12.
Okay, here.
Near the beginning. Yeah, it starts with "All is lost."
Okay, here. Well, how come I'm only showing 3 scenes for that? I mean, I'm on the MIT. Act 4, there's only 3 scenes, right?
You're looking at Antony and Cleopatra?
Oh, no, I'm not.
You might, yeah. You're looking at Julius Caesar, yeah. It's Antony and Cleopatra.
Sorry.
It's where he's losing to Caesar Augustus. This is years after Caesar's assassination, Julius Caesar's assassination. So it starts with "All is lost." It's Act 4, scene 12 in Antony and Cleopatra.
Okay, I just got a not found. Antony and Cleopatra. Not found. I'm having trouble here. Shakespeare homepage. Antony and Cleopatra. Act 4, scene
12.
Okay.
So Antony says something, exits. Scarus comes in, says a short monologue, and then Antony re-enters and says "All is lost."
All right, this will be brand new. This will be a cold reading, but I'll just do the best I can.
All right. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All is lost. This foul Egyptian hath betrayed me. My fleet hath yielded to the foe, and yonder they cast their caps up and carouse together like friends long lost. Triple turned whore, 'tis thou hast sold me to this novice, and my heart makes only war on thee. Bid them all fly, for when I am revenged upon my charm, I have done all. Bid them all fly, begone. O sun, thy uprise shall I see no more. Fortune and Antony part here. Even here do we shake hands. All come to this. The hearts that spanieled me at heels, to whom I gave their wishes, to discandy melt their sweets on blossoming Caesar. And this pine is barked, that overtop them all. Betrayed I am. Oh, this false soul of Egypt, this grave charm, whose eye becked forth my wars and called them home, whose bosom was my crowned, my chief end. Like a right gypsy, hath, at fast and loose, beguiled me to the very heart of loss. What, Eros, Eros? Ah, thou spell, avant.
Okay, great. We're glad it worked out this time, and you were able to join us. Now to the now we'll move on to the scenes. We have five roles from Act 3, Scene 13 of Antony and Cleopatra. It is so Antony, Cleopatra, Enobarbus, Phidias, and in the MIT edition, I said Phidias. It's called they call him Furious in this one, so don't let that confuse you. And then I'm combining the small part of the ambassador and the servant into one. So those 5 roles, and we got 8 of us. So it's been a couple more scenes to give roles for everybody. Let's see, 2 to 3 person scenes. Okay, so the scene that we'll do after the Antony and Cleopatra one will be Midsummer Night's Dream 2.1 with Demetrius and Helena. And I think there's a Hamlet 1.3. And you know what? I'm going to, since this one came up that has 3 characters in it, for the second scene, I was going to have two-person scenes, and one person would go twice. Since the Hamlet scene with Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia has 3 characters, that plus the 5 characters in Antony and Cleopatra equals 8 characters, and there's 8 of us, so that'll be perfect. So I'll put the Midsummer Night's Dream scene back on the wheel. So the characters that we're going to choose from are, again, the 5 characters I mentioned in Antony and Cleopatra, plus Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia in Hamlet Act 1, Scene 3. So let's now go to the wheel. I'm saying go to the wheel that has our names on it to see who gets the first choice of roles. Let me remove the people that are not here and add John. Okay, so that's the 8 of us. Okay, so the first choice of those 8 roles will be made by okay, Alex, what would you like? Alex? I think you're muted.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Which role would you like?
Oh, okay, so which scenes are we doing again? Hamlet?
Antony and Cleopatra, scene Act 3, Scene 13, with Antony, Cleopatra, Enobarbus, Stydius, and the servant. And then we're doing Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3, with Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia.
I'll do Polonius.
Okay. Alex will be Polonius. Okay, and the next choice of roles will be okay, Bill, what would you like?
How about Enobarbus?
Enobarbus. Great. Next choice will be Danielle, what would you like?
I would like Antony, please.
Okay. There, John, right on the line. John, what would you like?
Laertes,
Laertes.
please. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I will take Phidias. I'll take Phidias for myself. We have this. So between Cleopatra, the servant, and Ophelia.
The servant. I'm fine.
Hi, Shelia.
Hi.
So, what would you like?
I'll do the servant.
The servant. Okay. between Maggie and Elizabeth, who gets the choice between Cleopatra or Ophelia? Maggie. Okay, Maggie, would you like to be Ophelia or Cleopatra?
Well, I'll take Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. So that leaves, so Elizabeth, that leaves you with Ophelia. Okay, so we're ready to go now with the scene. We'll have, create the banner. And so be aware, Phidias, my character, is called Thereus in this. Okay, so it starts so Charmian and Iris are on stage, but they don't have any lines, so I didn't need to cast them. So Cleopatra, that's Maggie, it starts with Cleopatra on stage with Enobarbus, who is that Bill is so those two. I think it's so it starts with just those two are on stage. So
Ready when you are.
So whenever you're ready, the two of you can start us off.
You ready, Bill?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay, now I am.
All right. What shall we do, Enobarbus?
Think and die.
Is Antony or we in fault for this?
Antony only. That would make his will lord of his reason. What though you fled from that great face of war whose several ranges frighted each other? Why should he follow? The itch of his affection should not then have nicked his captainship. At such a point, when half to half the world opposed, he being the mere question, 'twas a shame no less than was his loss to course your flying flags and leave his navy gazing.
A pretty piece.
Is that his answer?
We have another character here.
Euphonius, is that also the servant?
Yes, ambassador and servant.
Oh, okay, aye, my lord.
The queen shall then have courtesy, so she will yield us up.
He says so.
Let her note. To the boy Caesar send this grizzled head, and he will fill thy wishes to the brim with principalities.
That head, my lord?
To him again. Tell him he wears the rose of youth upon him, from which the world should note something particular. His coin, ships, legions may be a coward's, whose ministers would prevail under the service of a child as soon as in the command of Caesar. I dare him, therefore, to lay his gay comparisons apart, and answer me declined, sword against sword, ourselves alone. I'll write it. Follow me.
Yes, like enough, high-battled Caesar will unstate his happiness and be staged to the show against the sworder. I see men's judgments are a parcel of their fortunes, and things outward do draw the inward quality after them to suffer all alike. That he should dream, knowing all measures, the full Caesar will answer his emptiness. Caesar, thou hast subdued his judgment too.
Caesar.
Are you going to do that, Shelia?
I did. You didn't hear me? A messenger?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay. What? No more ceremony? See, my women, against the blown rose, may they stop their nose that kneeled unto the buds. Admit him, sir.
Mine honesty and I begin to square. The loyalty well held to fools does make our faith mere folly. Yet he that can endure to follow with allegiance a fallen lord does conquer him that did his master conquer, and earns a place in the story.
Caesar's will?
Hear it apart.
None but friends. Say boldly.
So happily are they friends to Antony.
He needs as many, sir, as Caesar has, or needs not us. If Caesar please, our master will leap to be his friends. For us, you know, whose he is we are, and that is Caesar's.
So, thus then, thou most renowned Caesar entreats, not to consider in what case thou stands, further than he is Caesar.
Go on, right royal.
He knows that you embrace not Antony, as you did love, but as you feared him.
Oh,
The scars upon your honor, therefore, he does pity, as constrained blemishes, not as deserved.
he is a god and knows what is most right. Mine honor was not yielded, but conquered merely.
To be sure of that, I will ask Antony. Sir, thou art so leaky that we must leave thee to thy sinking, for thy dearest quit thee.
Shall I say to Caesar what you require of him? For he partly begs to be desired to give. It would much please him that of his fortunes you should make a staff to lean upon. But it would warm his spirits to hear from me you had left Antony, and put yourself under his shroud, the universal landlord.
What's your name?
My name is Phidias.
Most kind messenger, say to great Caesar this. In deputation I kiss his conquering hand. Tell him I am prompt to lay my crown at feet. There to kneel. Tell him from his all-obeying breath I hear the doom of Egypt.
'Tis your noblest course, wisdom and fortune combating together, if that the former dare but what it can. No chance may shake it. Give me grace to lay my duty on your hand.
Your Caesar's father oft, when he hath mused of taking kingdoms in, bestowed his lips on that unworthy place, as it rained kisses.
Favours, by Jove that thunders! What art thou, fellow?
One that but performs the bidding of the fullest ma'am, and worthiest to have command obeyed.
You will be whipped.
Approach there. Ah, you kite, now, gods and devils! Authority melts from me of late. When I cried ho, like boys unto a mass, kings would start forth and cry your will. Have you no ears? I am Antony yet. Take hence this Jack, and whip him.
'Tis better playing with a lion's whelp than with an old one dying.
Moon and stars, whip him! Were 20 of the greatest tributaries that do acknowledge Caesar, should I find them so saucy with the hand of she here, what's her name, since she was Cleopatra, whip him, fellows, till like a boy you see him cringe his face and whine aloud for mercy. Take him hence.
Mark Antony!
Tug him away, being whipped, bring him again. This Jack of Caesar's shall bear us an errand to him. You were half blasted ere I knew you. Have I my pillow left unpressed in Rome, forborne the getting of a lawful race, and by a gem of women, to be abused by one that looks on feeders?
Good, my lord.
You have been a boggler ever. But when we in our viciousness grow hard, oh, misery, on't the wise gods seal our eyes, in our own filth drop our clear judgments, make us adore our errors, laugh at us, while we strut to our confusion.
Oh, is't come to this?
I found you as a morsel cold upon dead Caesar's trencher. Nay, you were a fragment of Gnaeus Pompey's. Besides what hotter hours unregistered in vulgar fame you have luxuriously picked out, for I am sure Though you can guess what temperance should be, you know not what it is.
Wherefore is this?
To let a fellow that will take rewards and say, God quit you, be familiar with my playfellow, your hand. This kingly seal and plighter of high hearts. Oh, that I were upon the hill of Bassan to outroar the horned herd! For I have savage cause, and to proclaim it civilly were like a haltered neck which does the hangman thank for being yare about him. Is he whipped? Cried he, and begged a pardon? If that thy father
Oh,
lived.
he did. Sorry, is he whipped? Soundly, my lord.
Cried he, and begged a pardon?
He did ask favor.
If that thy father live, let him repent thou wast not made his daughter. And be thou sorry to follow Caesar in his triumph, since thou hast been whipped for following him. Henceforth, the white hand of a lady fever thee. Shake thou to look on't. Get thee back to Caesar. Tell him thy entertainment. Look, thou say he makes me angry with him, for he seems proud and disdainful, harping on what I am, not what he knew I was. He makes me angry, and at this time most easy 'tis to do it, when my good stars that were my former guides have empty left their orbs and shot their fires into the abysm of hell. If he mislike my speech and what is done, tell him he has Hipparchus, my enfranched bondman, whom he may at pleasure whip or hang or torture, as he shall like to quit me. Urge it thou. Hence with thy stripes, be gone.
Have you done yet?
Alack, our terrene moon is now eclipsed, and it portends alone the fall of Antony.
I must stay his time.
To flatter Caesar, would you mingle eyes with one that ties his points?
Not know me yet?
Cold-hearted toward me.
Ah, dear, if I be so, from my cold heart let heaven engender hail, and poison it in the source, and the first stone drop in my neck, as it determines so dissolve my life. The next Caesarean smite, till by degrees the memory of my womb, together with my brave Egyptians all, by the discandying of this pelleted storm, lie graveless, till the flies and gnats of Nile have buried them for prey.
I am satisfied. Caesar sits down in Alexandria, where I will oppose his fate. Our force by land hath nobly held, our severed navy too hath knit again, and fleet, threatening most sea-like. Where hast thou been, my heart? Dost thou hear, lady? If from the field I shall return once more to kiss these lips, I will appear in blood. I and my sword will earn our chronicle. There's hope in's yet.
That's my brave lord.
I will be treble-sinewed, hearted, breathed, and fight maliciously. For when mine hours were nice and lucky, men did ransom lives of me for jests. But now I'll set my teeth and send to darkness all that stop me. Come, let's have one other gaudy night. Call to me all my sad captains, fill our bowls once more. Let's mock the midnight bell.
It is my birthday. I had thought to have held it poor, but since my lord is Antony again, I will be Cleopatra.
We will yet do well.
All his noble captains to my lord.
Do so, we'll speak to them, and tonight I'll force the wine peep through their scars. Come on, my queen. There's sap in't yet. The next time I do fight, I'll make death love me, for I will contend even with his pestilent scythe.
Now he'll outstare the lightning. To be furious is to be frighted out of fear, and in that mood the dove will peck the ostrich. And I see still a diminution of our captain's brain. Restores his heart when labor preys on reason. It eats the sword it fights with. I'll seek some way to leave him.
Okay, great, everybody. I realize the only mistake, this I kept saying the importance of all being on the same page of the same script, and I ended up being the one that made that mistake. I think it's because I put this on the wheel back when I was when I was using a different source, and then I fortunately I cast myself as Thidius, so I caught the fact that he's called Therius in this script, but it's my fault. I threw Sheely off by the names of the various servants that she was doing were different in the edition that I had created this based on versus the one that we were looking at. But nonetheless, I think we still did great with that. Anyway, the last scene we're going to do, and then we'll wrap it up, will be Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3. Act 1, 3. We have so Alex as Polonius, John as Laertes, and Elizabeth as Ophelia. So let's see. It starts out so just Laertes and Ophelia are on stage. So we'll have John, and so we'll start with John and Elizabeth on stage, Laertes and Ophelia, and then I'll set it from there. So let me see.
Well, and can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so you two, you're ready to go with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, okay, so whenever you guys are ready, go ahead.
Okay. My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convey his assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion in a Trojan blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward not permanent, sweet not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so?
Think it no more. For nature crescent does not grow alone in hues and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor counsel doth besmirch the virtue of his will. But you must fear his greatness weighed. His will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for in his choice depends the safety and health of his whole state, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto that voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark grows withal. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection. Out of the shout and danger of desire, the chariest maid is prodigal enough. If she unmask your beauty to the moon, virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed. And in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blasphemies are most imminent. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But good, my brother? Do not as some ungracious pastors do. Show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, abort, abort, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you're stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory say thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not thou thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being keen, bird that opposed may beware of the opposed beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of most select and generous chief in that. Neither borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dows the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season thee, this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants attend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he had said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet?
Marry, well be taught. 'Tis told me he had very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have oft your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, and so 'tis put to me, and that in way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behoves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh, you speak like a green girl unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby. That you have taken these 10 tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus, you tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Hey, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Hey, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time, be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious balls, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slender any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you, calm your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
Okay, awesome. So while we were doing that last scene, I see Eleanor finally made it. She said she was she was participating in something else, and she might be late to involve her in the scenes. But Eleanor, if you'd still like to do a monologue, we. Oh well.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, if you'd like to do your monologue before we call it a day, then that would be great. So let's see. Back, the monologue wheel. So we'll do Eleanor's monologue, and then we'll spin for what larger scene we're going to do next week, and then we'll wrap up. So Eleanor's going to do. Juliet, gallop pace and fiery-footed steeds. The top of Act 3, Scene 2.
Okay, let me. Where did my? Could someone send me a link, please?
Yeah. Remember, you using the MIT thing, you should be able to go to any of the plays. Romeo and Juliet, Act. Okay, I just.
Okay, I am.
Danielle.
Okay, I'm attempting. Oh, what did I do? What I need to do here is pull up a second, instead of another tab, another window, which I can then tailor. Capulet's Orchard, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, and
so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay, I have to move the script to the side here. All right. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hoard my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks, with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch.
Okay, glad you were able to make it just on time to join us, even late, so that we got all of you involved. It was good to see everybody again after a long break. Let's take a look at what longer scene we're going to do next week, and then we'll wrap up. So, next week, be prepared for King Lear, Act 3, Scene 4. That'll be Kent, Lear, Fool, 1, 2, 3. So 5 characters again. Act 3, Scene 4, Kent, Lear, the Fool, Edgar, and Gloucester. So prepared for that. I look forward to doing that and the other stuff, whatever comes up on the wheel next week. Thank you for coming back to us. Hope you remembered Wheel of Shakespeare after the long hiatus, but we're glad to have been back. We had a lot of fun today. Look forward to seeing you guys again the same time next week. So see you guys next week. Bye now.